Denny Blanco, my man, how you doing?
I am doing super marvelous. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Happy New Year to you and your family. The first retro room of 2023. We are joined by podcast producer for iHeartRadio, Mr. Jabari Davis, who's on Twitter at Jabari Davis NBA. My man, how you doing?
Hey, not bad. As I told you in the intro, I appreciate you guys having me again. It's always an honor. It's always dope to talk hoops with y'all.
Exactly. Again, happy New Year to you and your family. It's been a while since you've been on the program, so I know me and Denny gonna fuck with you and everything, have a good time like we always do. Because you came on a very particular episode. This is episode 5 of our Retro Room series of picking our all-time fives. Nice. So, for those who never heard of it or don't know what's going on, we're taking 3 teams per episode, 30 teams, 10 episodes. And we're picking our all-time favorite fives from those teams. It could be by position. It could be any random 5 we want to pick. But it provides good barbershop talk, good banter. That obviously we're not going to have the same roster for every single team. But I'm pretty sure we're going to miss a lot of people off the roster. And we can figure out why he is not on the team. So we are here with the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Vancouver/Memphis Grizzlies. Before I move forward, you can find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on ballislife.com, also youtube.com/ballislife podcast network in collaboration with the Cruise Control Podcast Network, also on TikTok at Retro Room Pod. So that's brand new. Still getting used to it. Again, TikTok at Retro Room Pod. Find Denny Blanco at Sir Denny Blanco on IG. And Twitter, myself, Ray J. Cruz, RENDY, letter J, CRUZ. So we got that out the way. Jabari Davis, we're going to start with you. You are the guest tonight. You're 5.
Don't mess it up.
So just to make sure, for the record, these are my favorite. I'm not saying that these are the all-time definitive greats or any of that.
Exactly.
These are my favorite.
This is your 5, your favorite 5 from the LA Clippers. We're going to start with the LA Clippers, the brother of the Lakers.
Honorable mention to Elton Brand. Honorable mention to Michael Cage solely for the Jerry curl.
Michael Cage.
But my 5 will start off with Jamal Crawford. And I know that that's low-hanging fruit on this show amongst y'all gentlemen, specifically because y'all have the same type of love and appreciation for his game. So I would be surprised if that's the only time he gets mentioned. But I mean, he was a part of that very fun team, and I know Lakers fans will clown, and justifiably so in some cases, but they'll clown because they didn't quite make it. But hey, you know what? That Lob City squad was absolutely entertaining, beyond belief. That it was a heck of a lot of fun, and since I wasn't a fan of the team, I was able to enjoy it without worrying about the losses. We're gonna keep it going. All right. Paul George. Now here's the deal. A lot of people will clown Paul George. A lot of people will say all types of things, and I recognize they haven't had a great deal of success either. But here's the reality: we're talking about a franchise that has only been to the Western Conference Finals one time. This is not a sneak diss. This is just me justifying reality. Exactly. It's the reality. Right. But you can't sleep on him. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He will have played a good chunk of his career in Los Angeles, with the Clippers. So I think he deserves to be on that list. Next up. Shout out to the guy, he was re-upped with. He said he was part of the family. They had him on the Pioneers shirt. They had him on the shirt with guys like Einstein and Barack Obama and the Dalai Lama and all types of folks, right? Mm-hmm. And then they unceremoniously traded him like 3 weeks later. But that's okay. Blake Griffin, he's on the list. I'll speed it up. Kawhi Leonard, I don't have to explain that. I recognize he's been hurt for a good period of time. But I think when all's said and done, he will also, he'll play a good portion of his career, in that uniform. And then it's Chris Paul. But here's the thing. I've been a Chris Paul hater for a lot of years, but it's not the reality. It's just because it's a character I play online. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that man. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that man ain't one of the baddest to do it at his position. So those are my 5.
I don't like this, Jabbar. I don't like agreeing. I don't like having the same 5 or at least 4 out of 5. But Denny Blanco, the rotation goes to you. your Clippers 5.
First and foremost, thank you so much for being honest about Chris Paul. That's just honesty that we need on this show. I appreciate you.
I'm gonna be honest.
The Clippers top 5. So let me go the other way. So yeah, Chris Paul for me, Clipper head. I know him more for a Clipper than playing for New Orleans, the Pelicans, and Charlotte, I believe. But I know him more, and he's, to be honest, and I look back at his career. Houston was the blip. Technically, he probably played his best ball in the Clippers uniform. I think that's fair to say. So him at the 1. My 2, Clip. Man, listen.
A
lot of people. See, I want to put Baron at my 2. Baron in the Clippers uniform, Baron Davis, the Clippers uniform. I want to put him at my 2. But Jamal at my 2 is a better team. Jamal was just nasty in LA Clippers uniform. He was one of the best 2 guards in the league,
and a multiple 6 Man of the Year award with the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfair when you have a guy that can score from a multitude of angles. Him being pulled off the bench is automatic 6 Man of the Year. 3, my 3 guard, LA Clips. Wow,
here we go.
Interesting.
Where it gets interesting, Jabari.
It's gonna be sexy. It's gonna be sexy. I'm gonna put. You know what? I'm gonna put Darius. I'm gonna put Darius. You know what?
Putting D Miles
3.
Okay.
Q Rich at my 3. Shout out to Q Rich, my guy. I mean, the guy guarded 3 or 4 positions. I think he's like 6'2". Okay.
So you got both knuckleheads, Q Rich and D Miles?
Nah, I'm holding off on D Miles. Yeah, I'm still working on my. I mentioned him, but I'm gonna hold off. I'm still thinking, but I definitely got Q Rich solidified at my 3. At my 4 is, at my 5, 4 and 5, Blake 4. 5, I'll put Darius there. The floor is yours, Randy.
Okay, I just want to recap. Jabari got CP3, Blake, Jamal Crawford, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Denny has Chris Paul, Crawford, Q Rich, D Miles, Blake Griffin.
Ultimate Clippers, guys who have made their bones as Clippers. Shout out to Kawhi. Shout out to Paul George. You guys are great currently, minus the injuries, of course. But that's how it falls right now.
And for the record, Jabari, your honorable mention, which is what we also do, it was Elton Brand.
And also, you know what? I can't believe I left him off. Lamar Odom. LO, shout out to you. I know it was only a couple years early on, but those teams were a hell of a lot of fun as well.
I'd like to alter my power forward pick.
Here it comes. I'd
like to ask Commissioner Randy J. Cruz to alter my pick. My 4 is LO. I apologize. I'm very sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, LO was one, he was the point forward. For those that recognize what a point four is, point forward, he was the guy who's gathering up the rebounds, bringing it up himself, and passing to everybody, or shooting a 3, or taking it to the hole. So, shout out to LO. Randy,
so D Miles gets cut for LO,
unfortunately.
And who's your honorable mention? Is it D Miles now?
We could put D Miles as my honorable for sure. Part of the Knucklehead crew.
Mention.
Definitely wanted him to develop into a. I expected him to be a Kevin Durant. I wanted him to be Kevin Durant so bad, but things didn't happen that way.
So I didn't like how me and Jabari probably had the same roster. Chris Paul, Blake, Jamal Crawford, Kawhi, and Paul George. But my honorable mention will be Elton Brand. I would like to mention that somebody who we did not mention on any roster that could be deserving some flowers, because it's a time frame people might have forgotten. Is Coutinho Mobley with the Clippers. So he's another that, in that time frame was him, Brand making leadoffs. He was a guy that was getting the 15, 17, 19 points a game that went to game 7 in 06 against the Suns. So that team kind of gets lost in the shuffle. This is pre-Blake, pre-CP3. I just want to mention, put out there, Cat Mobley, but I would say Elton Brand would be my honorable mention. So my 5 would be CP3, Blake, Crawford, Paul George, Kawhi, but Brand as the honorable mention.
Question. Would you take it's a silly question. Would you take Coutinho Mobley from Houston first before Coutinho Mobley from the Clippers?
Yo, listen, Cap Mobley with the Clippers was.
It's a question.
I'm telling you.
You think
don't make me look. I'm gonna look it up.
Look at the numbers. You think the Coutinho Mobley at the Clippers was just as good as Coutinho Mobley playing with Steve Francis?
Cat Mobley was nasty with Houston. Also, shout out Corey Maggette. There's a couple
Corey
of
Maggette. Correct. Yeah. Shout out to Corey Maggette, the Dookie. Yes. Coutinho Mobley, Houston versus LA Coutinho Mobley.
Yeah, he was doing more work. Rockets 10, 7, 16, 20, 22, 18, and 16. Then he got to Orlando and then Sacramento. Then he got the Clippers 15, 14, 13, and 14. Okay.
Still highly effective.
Yeah, I'll take Houston Rocket Cat Mobley over.
That's why I didn't mention him, because he's, to me, him and Steve Francis was one of the best backcourts I've ever seen when they were at full strength.
Okay. So, Denny Blanco, do you want to start off with the LA Lakers?
Oh, Jesus. Yes, I do.
Oh, boy.
The Lakers. At my 5. It's the greatest.
Moskov?
Greatest. Don't do that, please.
Yo, you know what? Real quick, a Clipper. Yo, Chris Kaman was getting buckets in the Clippers too.
Shout out to Chris Kaman.
Just want to put out there. Chris Kaman.
Shout out to Chris Kaman. He was an all-star too, I believe, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was nice. Yeah. All right. At my 5 is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
At my 4.
Who will be soon the second leading scorer of all time?
You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Why not? Let's put Shaq at my 5. Let's put Kareem at my 4. Let's put at my 3. We're gonna do Worthy. We're gonna do Worthy at my 3.
Big Game James.
You know what? Let's revert. Yeah, Worthy. Worthy at my 3. At my 2. We know what the 1 is. we know what the 1 is. Magic.
And we know who the 2 is.
Well, I was gonna say, you don't know who the 2 is?
Who's the 2? Tell me.
No, I want to wait and see this. If there's a question, I want to wait and see.
Tell me.
Come on.
Well, I gotta tell you what my 2 is. You're like, oh, you should tell me the same 2 that I got.
Bro, this is universally the number 2 for the Lakers.
I mean, let me think. It's a snake. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Kobe.
I was gonna be very surprised. What about your
honorable mention? You grab me and choke me through the screen.
So what, you got Kobe and Magic?
East Coast ain't got love for that. Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go, Randy. Yes, sir.
All right, Denny Blanco, Kareem, Shaq, James Worthy, Kobe, and Magic.
Kill yourself. Delete yourself if you think you're gonna beat that team. Delete yourself. Continue.
All right, Jabari.
All right, so my honorable. Denny didn't give it
honorable mention. Yes.
Oh, honorable mention. Honorable mention. You know what? We'll go LeBron. Honorable mention LeBron.
I understand that because that's where I'm going. You want me to go ahead and start off? Honorable mention. Go. I got LeBron. So here's the thing, people will take it as a disrespect, but like, look at the reality. He's still playing great basketball. But if we were going to talk about like, is this the best basketball he's ever played? No. Is this even the second best basketball he's ever played? No, it's not even in the conversation. And when you're unlike other franchises, when you're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, you got to talk about excellence. And there's a whole lot of folks on that list. So LeBron, shout out to you, shout out to Pau Gasol, honorable mention, and shout out to Big Game. By the way, the jab step, the reason why it's named that, it's not just because Jabs is the start of my name, it's because Big Game James was one of my favorite players of all time and one of my absolute favorite. And when he got the ball on the wing and hit you with that jab step and took you baseline, you know what it was. All right, so going back to the list.
All right, here we go.
I didn't go by position, so forgive me, but my number 5 selection is Jerry West. I recognize the man went, 1-8 in the finals, but he made it to the finals 9 times. He's going up against a buzzsaw, just literally littered with, with Hall of Famers on the other side. He's also the only player to ever, win a finals MVP in a losing cause. I'll be honest with you. I recognize that, these days we say things like, oh, we just caught a bunch of L's. Nah, man, he caught a bunch of W's in order to get to those, in order to get to those. Plus you tie in the fact that he was the architect of the Showtime Lakers, as well as that first Shaq and Kobe championship team. because then afterwards he resigned. Laker love forever. I may not agree with his politics in current day, but in terms of being on the court, the logo still gets it for me. My number 4 is Kareem. I don't really even need to explain that. He's one of the greatest to ever do this, if not the greatest. Y'all know what this is.
Okay.
Shaq is number 3 on my list. He's the single most dominant physical specimen I've ever seen on a basketball court. Now I recognize there's going to be old heads that say like, oh, well, what about Wilt? What about Bill Russell and some other guys? I'm not going to lie in front as though I watched those guys in real time. Yes, I respect the numbers. Yes, I respect all of their deeds, but I can't put them on my list because I did not watch them play. I can just pay respect to them for what they are. And if you want to say honorable mention, that that's fine.
Okay, time out. So then, real talk. Then why do you have Jerry West on the roster?
Because I also saw
him in real time.
Because I also saw. Remember what the second part of that. I also saw what he did building Lakers dynasties. He built Lakers dynasties as an executive.
Correct.
So if this is just on the court, I would take him off. But if it's like my favorite Laker of all time, because you are still a Laker, if you are responsible for 10 title runs or 10 finals runs and the equivalent of 6 titles, I do believe that counts. I still believe that counts for me. But that is a good point. It's because of the combination of the two. Next up. Y'all know who this is, man. It's Kobe Bean Bryant. 5 of them things. Not only 5 of them things was a part of 2 different dynasties, 2 different incredible runs during my lifetime. I watched his entire career. It was a blessing, and I don't really need to go any further. And the last but not least,
and I already know who it is. It's either Byron Scott or it's gonna be
Byron Scott could have been in my honorable mention. Nick Van Exel could have been in my honorable mention, but this is Irvin Magic Johnson. You're damn right. Won a ring, won Finals MVP as a rookie, 42, 15, and 7. We don't even have to talk about it. Went to the finals 9 times in the 80s, against some other juggernauts, 5 and 4 over that stretch. Had the moment in 92 with the All-Star game. I don't care. Even when he was Magic Mountain in the comeback, it was in 95 or 96 when he was playing point power forward, and they had to Latrell Sprewell, spinning around looking for where he was. And shout out to Latrell because I always got love for him too. But you know what? Damn it, that's a moment in time. And Magic Johnson is my number 1 Laker of all time.
Okay,
I'm biased though.
It's all good, man. I think. Okay, let me recap. Denny had Kareem, Shaq, Worthy, Kobe, LeBron, Kobe, Magic, LeBron as honorable mention. Jabari, you got honorable mention LeBron, but your 5 is Jerry West, Kareem, Shaq, Kobe, and Magic.
Yes, sir.
I have Kobe, Shaq, Magic, Kareem, and LeBron.
Okay.
I mean, if you put that 5 on the floor together, it's like, yo, what the fuck? I can't guard that. I know LeBron's been there for 3-4 years now.
Yeah, 4 years.
And you might say, where's Big Game James? I mean, I like Worthy. Mm-hmm. I mean, is he one of my all-time favorite Lakers? Probably not. Mm-hmm. I put Kareem there. I remember seeing more of Magic than I did Kareem. But I put Kareem just because he's top 3 all time. He's all-time leading scorer currently. So I gotta put that. But the honorable mention gets tricky because there are some other Lakers that I love, and it's like, damn, who am I gonna pick? So Nick Van Exel is definitely one of them. Mm-hmm. The only time, I remember then it was also Eddie Jones is a different guy. Mm-hmm. That Eddie, Van, Shaq, Kobe all made the All-Star team in 98. I love that Laker. That was the Dale Harris Lakers. Yes,
the Lake Show Lakers.
Pre Phil Jackson at post Showtime. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is Shaq's, big contract in 96. It's like, now people are like, what are you going to do for the franchise coming from Orlando? Are you going to provide a championship? It was still kind of rocky and everything. So, but those 4, that core is who I really fell in love with. I would say Van Exel, Eddie Jones as my honorable mention. I'm trying to think of, because what you got to think about too, Jabari, we forget there's little holes of time that we forget. That even when Shaq left, who was there? Now, Pau Gasol is probably a third guy. I can be as an honorable mention. Lamar Odom is one more guy as an honorable mention. So there's so many. That franchise has so many honorable mentions that.
Shout out to my guy Robert Horry.
It's not even funny. But I would say I go Van Exel, and damn, Pau Gasol is tough too. No, I go Van Exel, Pau Gasol, Eddie Jones as my honorable mentions for the Lakers.
Not mad at them. Not mad at them at all.
All right. So we got through the Lakers. Now we get to, I guess, the hard part, which is Vancouver / Memphis. Before we wrap up later, I'm gonna get to your guys' coaches for all the franchises, Clippers, Lakers, and Memphis. This is tricky because Vancouver was there for a hot second. It's been really Memphis for the last 20 plus years. So many great players, but I'm gonna start with Pau Gasol. Wow, he's on my Lakers and Memphis roster. Pau Gasol. I'm gonna mention Zach Randolph because breaking news: Zach Randolph was that dude. For those who don't know, the guy with the 1-inch vertical but can't jump. He gets 15 rebounds a game, and he'll box you out. He'll back you down in the fucking post. But when the game was that kind of game back then, Zach Randolph was unguardable. I'm not even mentioning Portland Zach Randolph. That's a different show. But when he got to Memphis, he was still giving people work. So I got Pal, I got Zebo. This is where I get stuck now. No, I'm taking John Morant. I'm taking John Morant.
I was gonna say, man, is he gonna leave John?
No. I think those are my three. Now it gets tricky.
All right.
Because do I still want to pay homage to Vancouver and Getty and Mike Bibby? Do I want to put White Chocolate on the roster? Am I going with the Mike Conleys of the world, the Tony Allens? Am I going with Mike Miller? So I'm stuck right now at Ja, Pal, and Zebo. And sometimes this is what we do, Jabari. If I got three, I'm gonna push it to Denny for his five, and maybe I'll come around to my other two guys. So Denny Blanco, who do you got? Who do you got for Memphis / Vancouver? Yo, Abdul Rahim. Oh,
shut your mouth.
Oh, yeah. No, not to worry.
Shut your mouth. It's not your turn. Shut your filthy mouth.
Abdul Rahim.
We're gonna.
You're right. Go, Denny. Go. We're
gonna do Mark Gasol, the brother Paul, the other Mark, the other Paul. Mark Gasol at the 5 from Memphis Grizzlies. He was a monster at the 5 position. He was doing work for a period of time in that uniform. So I'm giving the nod to him. Okay. At the 4, Zach. I get position Randolph. For those who don't know, you don't need to outjump your opponent for the rebound. You have to outposition him. Zach Randolph was a perfect example of that. No vertical, but yet getting boards. At my 3, for Memphis / Vancouver, Sharif. Abdul Rahim. Boys and girls, Google him. He was a problem. He was kind of like a tweener. Like,
yeah,
he was too big for small guys, small forwards, guards, but he was too fast for big men. So he was like right in between that problem, like 6'8", 6'9", around there. It's just a problem child. So I'm at the 2. Shout out to Tony Allen, one of the only players to ever look Kobe Bryant in the eye and not blink. Not blink. Looked him dead in the face and said, listen, I'm coming every possession. I don't need to score. I don't need to score. I'm Tony Allen. I don't need to score.
You're right.
Defense. I need to shut you down. Shout out to Tony Allen. At my number 1 at my point guard for Memphis, John Morant, man. I like I said, I told Randy the first time I saw him in college. I said, he's giving me Allen Iverson vibes. He's giving me Allen Iverson vibes. And I said, it's early. I don't want to get people angry at me. But he's giving me Allen Iverson vibes. And look, to this day, please, if he's not the most explosive point guard we've seen, not since obviously Russell Westbrook, I believe he's smaller than Russell Westbrook. He's not the most explosive guard we've seen in a long time. Shout out to Steve Francis. Shout out to Allen Iverson. Let me tell you, he's box office. Has that helped you out, Randy?
I have a question, though. You got to explain to me why Pau Gasol is not on your Grizzlies roster.
Pau Gasol is a Laker
because he ended up winning with them.
He was a Laker. He got rings with Lakers. He's known as a Laker.
Oh,
he's known. Don't get me wrong. He did work. He did some work.
Yeah, this is young Pau, brother. This is
young Pau playing on JV. Young Pau playing on JV. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? You played on JV, dropping 25 and 9. God bless you.
Wow.
Okay. You know what I mean? What am I supposed to do with that, Randy? He went to LA Lakers and looked Kobe Bryant in the face, cried a couple of nights because he was like, yo, who is this guy, Kobe Bryant, bullying me like this? Realized, you know what? Maybe I should, learn from this guy. And he got how many rings from Kobe? How many rings did Kobe give him? Was it?
He got 2.
2? God bless. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost, I've proven my point.
Do the Memphis Grizzlies make the playoffs in the early 2000s without Pau Gasol?
No. Sorry, I didn't mean to answer for
you. No,
you.
it's all right. Yeah. Multiple time All-Star, get 20, 10, and 5. He did all that before the Lakers.
No.
But you picked the other brother, Marc Gasol.
Yeah, the other brother's more aggressive, more angry, more of a my kind of center, if you will. No pizzazz, no floating on the wing, if you will. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Pau. I do. But the question was my favorite Memphis Grizzly team.
You're right. I just felt that would have been. I thought Pau wasn't automatic, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's not.
To you,
Jabari, who you got? Memphis / Vancouver.
All right. I'm going to be giving a lot of the same names that both of you guys have. Honorable mention, all respect in the world to Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Shout out Mike Conley Jr. and shout out I'm gonna go old school with you. Shout out to Michael Dickerson. And then but for my top 5,
Arizona.
Absolutely. For my top 5, let me absolutely get Tony Allen. Let me get a 6-time all defensive player. Let me get that. And to your point, Denny, you're exactly right. Kobe always used to mention that Tony Allen was one of the toughest he ever went up against, and he absolutely loved going against him. So he's got to be on the team.
Okay.
There's no question that Zebo's on the team.
Yes.
Back-to-back 2012 seasons before they actually got him some help and he started to spread the love around.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a no-brainer. My team is big because I got both Gasol brothers. What's up, Gasols?
Let's go.
Y'all both in the mix. I understand where you're coming from, Denny, but you know what? I'm going to cover our bases and take them both. And there's no question it's Ja, man. Like, he is him. That's a Spider-Man out there, man. That's an absolute Spider-Man out there. So, while yes, he's only been in the league a few years, it's kind of like with the original top 50 team that the league put out, where they we didn't have to wait and find out about Shaq. You know what I'm saying? We knew that he was him. I know that Ja is him. So all praise be to him.
Randy.
So I still got 5. No, I got 3. I got Ja, Zebo. I'm gonna pick.
You just
with Jabari, we forget. Like, we forget there was a time Rudy Gay was that dude in Memphis too.
Rudy
like,
was nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to. Denny, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that because you forgot a perennial all-star in Pau Gasol, and then you want to justify it by picking. I don't know. I'm just saying. Come on, man. Don't do that to Rudy Gay. Don't do that.
Hey, man.
Don't do that.
Memphis Grizzly player that was all time, you have to be moving some other names around to fit Rudy Gay in. Is all I'm saying, big man.
But like you said, it's my 5.
All right, you got it. You got the honorable mention.
I'm not saying I'm gonna pick Rudy Gay, but that's just a name that people just forget about.
Mm-hmm. God bless. You got your 5, or did you get your?
All right, you know what? I got Pau Gasol, Marc Gasol, Ja Morant. I'm gonna go Marc Gasol, and I'll go with I'll go Raheem. I'll go Abdul-Rahim.
There you go. Respectable.
You still have one spot though.
Oh, honorable mention?
No, you still have one spot.
No, I got Pal, Mark, Zebo, Ja, and Raheem.
Oh, my bad, Zebo. Okay.
Copy.
Yep.
And then your honorable mention for Memphis was who? Because you got Mark, Zebo, Raheem, Tony Allen, and John Morant.
All right, I'll give my honorable mention to White Chocolate. Guys.
More disrespect for Pau Gasol.
Yeah, he didn't even get Pau.
Damn, Pau Gasol is not on your Memphis roster, Laker roster, Laker honorable mention, or Memphis honorable mention. What's going on here, bro?
I didn't know there were requirements, Big Daddy. I didn't know there were requirements.
What did Pau do to you, bro? What did Pau do to you?
I didn't know there's requirements to put the Spaniard on there. I didn't know.
Didn't he telling us? Didn't he told us to put our big boy pants on, bro? He said, "Put your big boy pants on."
There it is. That's all. You know what I mean? Shout out to Paul. Wow. I love you. I love you in the Spanish team. You a monster. But you know what I mean? Like, hey, man. Hey, it is what it is. Come on now.
I put Tony Allen as there because I'm not gonna deny he wasn't a multiple time defensive player of the year, and he's one of the greatest defensive players of all time. So I'll do that for him. So I got Tony Allen as my honorable mention.
Oh, you'll do that for him last. Yeah, see what I mean? You want to talk about me being disrespectful? Okay, let's boomerang this drum. Okay,
bro, you got a 5-time All-Star and a 2-time champ nowhere near any roster.
I mean, the concept is very simple. I see LA Lakers. I don't see him in there with above, Kareem and Shaq. And then you go over to Memphis. I mean, he's more known as a Laker. That's just my situation, how I look at it. But damn, I mean, you don't even pick Tony Allen in your top 5? He's honorable? Really?
He wasn't really one of my favorite players, but I'm not gonna deny what he did on the floor either.
Yeah, don't deny him. You're gonna bring up Rudy Gay. But don't deny Tony Allen.
Let me bring up Rudy Gay numbers. Do not let me bring up Rudy Gay numbers.
Listen, I'm not in dispute of Rudy Gay's numbers. I just don't think
Jabari, this is where we go.
19 and 5.
Rudy Gay in Memphis, 11, 20, 19, 20, 20, 19. What are we talking about here?
19 and 5. You
19 and
5. You rocking. No disrespect. You rocking. But I mean, I can't fit you on my roster, Daddy. Like I got Tony Allen sitting here that literally looked Kobe in the eye, took the serum, and was like, I'm still here. Who does that?
Okay, and nobody picked Mike Conley.
No,
I gave him honorable mention.
Mention.
Yeah, he's not in there.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah, you got Conley, Mike Dickinson, and Raheem.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, Clippers coach. You got to pick a coach, Jabari.
Sure, Bill Fitch.
I said, oh wow. Bill Fitch. Wow. All right. Bill Fitch. Welcome.
Vinny Del Negro.
Wow.
There it is.
Negro. Wow.
There it is.
That's a throwback name for sure.
There it is.
Denny, who you got for the Clippers?
Michael Dunleavy.
Okay.
Shout out to Junior. He's a baller too at Duke.
Mike Dunleavy's a throwback name. For me, I know he didn't get the job done, but I think he went the farthest with them. I'll go Doc Rivers.
Shout out to Doc.
Even though he dropped the 3-1 lead against Denver. Lakers, I'm assuming we all got Phil.
I'll go the other way.
Phil who?
Who you picking, Jabari?
I'll stand out. I'll take Pat. Give me Riles. Slick it back and let's go.
Yeah. Listen, guys, if you haven't watched that Showtime, whether it's the documentary, which I watched, or whether it's the John C. Reilly playing
Winning Time.
If you need to watch these two shows, it'll give you a better understanding of the backgrounds of Magic and Jerry West, is what Jabari mentioned earlier, and Dr. Buss, and understanding that this was a Hail Mary. The Lakers was literally a Hail Mary. It was not supposed to work, and it did.
It beautifully too.
All right, Denny, who you got, Phil or Pat?
No, we're going Pat, Daddy. Slick here, because Pat wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah,
Pat wasn't supposed to be there, and he literally just used the events that happened to position himself in a place where he could use his mind of basketball to get a job. That's it.
So I'll go Phil. Jabari, who you think was a better coach in their prime, Pat or Phil?
Oh, come on, bro.
I'm not gonna. I can't BS you and say like, oh, I think one is way better than the other. But if I had to choose,
or let me ask, if you were a player, who would you want coaching you, Pat Riley or Phil Jackson?
Ooh, that actually makes it a more difficult conversation. Okay, so me personally, Phil, that's more my vibe. Pat was a grinder, and I respect it, and I appreciate that, and that's actually look, I grew up watching that, but it also kind of led to hamstring injuries in situations down the stretch at the end of that run. But Phil would have been my guy because it seems like Phil is the type where if you bring it, and honestly, if you just bring it, you're one of his. You're one of his. One of his guys. There's kind of like. Plus, I'll keep it real with you. We would have vibed off the court.
Correct.
We got the same type of vibe off the court.
Yeah, a lot of yoga, sage, all that kind of vibe.
Something like sage. Sage. Yeah,
I hate that. And Memphis, Vancouver. What coach are we going with for the Grizz?
I'll wait for you, Denny.
Come on, Denny.
All right. I have nothing for you.
You got no coach.
I have no coach that has stood out to me and said
Memphis.
Yeah, none. None.
I could throw some names at you.
I'm sorry. It's just that bad of a coaching deal out there in Memphis.
All right.
I can't remember a coach.
Give me the czar of the telestrator. Give me Mike.
I was going to say that.
There you go.
Mike Fratello, right? Mike Fratello
over 500 record with them too.
You could pick Mike Fratello or Hubie Brown.
There you go. And then you can't go wrong.
Oh, I can't go wrong. Give me Hubie Brown.
I'll take Hubie.
Yeah, give me Hubie.
So Jabari got Mike Fratello, and then me and Denny got Hubie Brown. So Jabari, that's how we do it in the Retro Room. This is episode 5. We got through the Clippers, the Lakers, and Memphis. I'm trying to go by alphabetical of who's next. NBA teams. I can't even spell this shit right now. Because after this, episode 6 will contain Miami, Milwaukee, and Minnesota. That should
that's a nice.
That should be interesting. Miami, Milwaukee, and Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, let me know when you guys do that one. I'll answer on the timeline. I got answers for them too.
I think we feel pretty good about the rosters. I think we always want to, pick the highlight guys, but let's not forget those who paved the way as well and don't get the recognition as much as they deserve. That's the whole premises of this show. So again, Clippers, Lakers, Grizzlies, Part 5 Retro Room. You can find Jabari Davis on Twitter at Jabari Davis NBA, podcaster for iHeartRadio. Find Denny Blanco on both IG and Twitter as Sir Denny Blanco. Find myself, Randy J. Cruz, on IG and Twitter, RENDY, letter J, CRUZ. The podcast is on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, ballislife.com. Also, Ball is Life Podcast Network on YouTube. And brand new TikTok at Retro Room Pod. I think I got everything out the way. Jabari Davis, always a pleasure. Love having you on. I know we'll have you on again soon. Happy New Year again to you and your family, and take it easy, my man.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Honestly, I meant what I said when I came in. It's an honor to be here. It's always a good time. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Life.
Yes, sir.